Hi folks, so in this video we are going to be making Bebop from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now I have printed this guy in 1/8 scale, so he's approximately about 25 centimeters tall. I printed all the parts hollow and he has been all cleaned up and he has been primed with a nice grey primer. I have also used a black primer for the base, and just because I happen to have it, a silver primer for the blade of the chainsaw. As you can see, he is held together with a couple of elastic bands currently, so none of the parts are glued together. In fact, I'll show you can take off the arms, the legs, the feet, all that type of stuff, which will make it a lot more easier to paint. So without any further ado, let's get some paint on this guy. So the first thing I'm going to paint is all the skin of the model, and for that I'm going to use some Steel Legion Drab as my initial base coat. I'm now going to apply a dry brush all over the skin using some sandry dust. So with all dry brushing, you just take a little bit of paint and then get most of it off your brush using a paper towel or one of these wooden texture boards. So then once you're happy with how much paint is being left behind, you're not leaving too much, it's just going to be an all over dry brush over all the skin that we just painted. And this will just start to leave a bit of variation on the texture. It'll leave the recesses darker and anything raised will be that little bit brighter. Now, as a comparison, this is what we're aiming for. This one has not had the dry brush yet and this one has. I'm going to follow that with a second dry brush, this time using some Rakarth Flesh. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm only going to concentrate on the central areas. So I'm going to do it on the body and also the face, and I'm going to leave the arms alone. For the fingers and thumbnails, I'm going to use a solid coat of sandry dust. I've now mixed in a little bit of deck tan into that sandry dust brown I just did, and I'm just going to do a couple of sort of strokes all along the edge. Next I'm going to be taking some blue violet, which is a nice bright purple paint, and I'm going to do this for all the hair. Using some Druki Violet, which is a nice purple wash, I'm just going to run this all over the hair. I'm going to use a touch of Bugman's Glow just to paint in the gums around the teeth. That is followed with a all-over wash using some Reichland Flesh Shade to go all over those gums and also all over the inside of the ears, which I painted that same Bugman's Glow. For his gold chain, I'm going to use some Retributor Armour from Citadel Paints. Next up is some deck tan, and I'm going to use this to paint in the teeth and the tusks. Next I'm going to run a load of non-oil all over the gold. This will just bring out all the details. Next I'm going to run a wash of Seraphim Sepia into those teeth, and I'm going to make sure that I've got quite a little bit of water on the actual brush because I just want to thin this down a little bit. I don't want it to go on too strong. I want to cover the tusk as well. Now I'm just painting in all the silver jewellery on his face, and for that I have mixed up some gunmetal with some runefang steel just to give it a little bit more of a sparkle. For the glasses I'm using some squid pink. Okay, so whilst you guys weren't looking, I quickly painted in the eyes. Now, I just did this very simply, round circle of brown, followed by a smaller circle of black, and then a dot of white in each one. Now, I really didn't have to worry about this too much, because the eye is going to be covered with the sunglasses. Speaking of which, here are the glasses. Now, what I have done is I've covered them over with a coat of technical hard coat, which is just basically a gloss coat. So what that does is it makes it look kind of plasticky looking. Now once these are placed on the face, as you'll see, most of the eyes are pretty much covered, but you will sort of see them just from the side, which is why I wanted to paint them in, just to complete it really. But as I say, you don't need to worry too much. Now, just looking at the face again, I think the hair is looking a little bit plain to my eyes. So I'm going to take some of that squid pink, which I used for the sunglasses. I'm just going to do a light dry brush over that. Now for the jacket, I'm just using the brightest red I have, which is a colour called Bloody Red by Vallejo. I'm going to follow that red paint with a red wash using some Caribou Crimson from Citadel. Now this is just going to go all over the jacket quite liberally and make sure it goes in all the recesses. So with that red wash all dried, you can see it has created a lot of depth into all the recesses, which is what we wanted. So it's darkened down all the little grooves, the nooks, that kind of thing. It's brought out a lot of the texture, but it also has a little bit of kind of staining effect here and there. So it needs a little bit of tidying up. So what I'm going to do is a dry brush again using that original red that I had on before, and this will just basically tidy up some of the flat surfaces whilst keeping the recesses nice and dark. Using some Wild Rider Red, which is a very orangey red, I'm going to do a second dry brush just to bring up that contrast a little bit more. Now I'm just going to paint in all the buckles and the zips. You can use any silver you like. I am using oily steel. Next up, I'm just going to take a little bit of Nuln Oil, which is a black wash. I'm just going to run this across the zips to bring out the detail. Now for the jeans, I'm going to use some Cantor blue, which is the darkest blue I happen to have. Next up, I'm going to do a dry brush using some Rakarth Flesh, which is a nice kind of beige colour. And what this will do is it will make it really look like jeans, and a little bit distressed, because it will take up, as you can see, it will start lighting up all the stitching and the folds and creases. So it's a very quick, easy way to make jeans. And after all that dry brushing, this is what I'm left with. As you can see, it's quite effective. Definitely looks a lot more like jeans. So there's a few little sort of pits and scratches in there, and I'm feeling a little bit lazy. So what I'm going to do is use some of this black panel liner just to fill in these recesses. Next up, I'm going to use Rhinox Hide, which is a nice dark brown for the belt on the trousers. And also he's got a couple of belts around his wrist as well, which I'll do the same colour. Next I'm going to do a dry brush using some Mornfang brown, and that's going to go all over that dark brown belt I just painted. Next up is a little bit of silver just to go around the belt buckle and the little hoops. I'm going to take a little bit of deck tan now, and I'm just going to paint in this little patch skull. So turning to the chainsaw, as you can see I have painted in very quickly some silver and black just to mark out where the handles are. I've also put a very quick dirty coat of white paint over the rest of the body of the chainsaw, and that is in preparation for throwing over some contrast paint. I'm going to throw over some Imperial Fist Yellow. Okay, with that yellow now dry, I've jumped ahead a little bit and I have painted in some silver on a couple of scratches and also the rivets and bolts, that kind of thing, across the yellow piece there. So the yellow is looking pretty sort of murky because of the contrast paint that I used, and I'm actually going to make it a little bit even more murky. This time what I'm going to do is take some Rhinox hide, which is a very dark brown, and I'm going to do a dry brush of this pretty much all over the whole of the yellow really, and what this does is it just makes it look very sort of dirty and grimy. I've now done a quick dry brush of some dark grey over the black just to make that look a little bit more natural, and now what I'm going to do is use some black panel liner to go over all of the silver. Now you could use a black wash, of course, which is pretty much the same thing, but I'm just being a bit lazy and I've got this on my desk, can't bother to find the black wash. And here is the chainsaw all finished. So I've glued in the chainsaw blade, and now I just weathered that in the same way I did all the rest of the silver, but I also just did a quick dry brush using a little bit of Riser Rust just to make it a little bit rusty. For the boots I'm using some Mephiston Red. Now, just like the jacket, I have applied an all-over shade of that Carroburg Crimson, and that is dry now, and you can see it's sort of darkened down the recesses. So I'm going to come back in with a dry brush using some Bloody Red by Vallejo. Okay, next up is the part I've been dreading a little bit really. It's painting in all the stitching and all the laces, so this is going to take quite a while to do. I'm going to use deck tan for this. I'm going to obviously go paint laces, paint the stitching down the side here, across the top and along the centre on the back there. So that did take a little while to paint in all those laces, but I think it was worth the effort. So what I'm going to do now is use some Bone White, which is a slightly darker sort of beige colour, and I'm basically going to paint in everything else. So around the front here, all around the sole, and also this sort of leathery type part on the back. Now next up I'm going to put a glaze over the soles of the boots just to darken them down, and I'm going to use leather brown for this. So if you look at my palette here, this is what we're talking about, a glaze. It's essentially a tiny bit of paint and really watered down as much as you can. You can see there sort of as the paint retracts away. So what we're going to do is now apply this glaze over the sole. You can see that it's more of it's sort of a tint. Just kind of tints the paint, obviously runs into the recesses. It's effectively like a wash, but a wash can be a bit too strong. So this is like a lighter version of a wash. Okay, so that glaze is now all dried, and the last thing I'm going to do is take a little bit of soft pastel. I'm going to take a little bit of dark grey, maybe a touch of black, and I'm just going to work this into all the laces and sort of the parts around here, just so they don't just look one stark colour. Moving on to the base, what I'm going to do first of all is do a all over pretty heavy dry brush using a dark grey. Now, as I've explained in numerous videos before, the reason that I do the bases and spray them black to start with is to ensure that all the shadows are already painted in. So if you can see here, for example, I've got a line on this recess here along this crease, and that is now nice and shadowed and much darker than the surface. So I'm just going to go across the whole model and, as I say, do fairly heavy dry brush of this initial dark grey. That is then followed up with a second dry brush, this time using a lighter grey, which I'm using Neutral Grey by Vallejo. So this will be not as heavy as the first dry brush, concentrating more on the raised areas. Okay, more dry brushing. This time I'm going to use a light brown. I'm going to go with some Sandry dust. And this is, again, even lighter than I did before, just in a few places here and there, just to break up all the grey a little bit. So I have just done another dry brush using Death World Forest, which is a nice dark green, again just in places here and there. I'm going to do one final one in Parasite Brown, which is quite a sort of an orangey brown, because I think concrete is kind of a mix of all those colours. It just adds a little bit more interest. As I say, it breaks up some of all that grey. Okay, I think that's going to about do it for the base. I have added a couple of these felt pads underneath to make sure the base is nice and stable, and we're going to call that done. So I'm going to put the model together now, and I will come back and show you the final finished result. So here is the finished piece, and this was a lot of fun to paint. There was a lot of really nice textures on it. Some of the details, particularly the sculpt around the clothes, the boots, the jeans, they're so well done that it actually just really makes the painting quite easy. So I really like the design on this one. I think, as I say, the sculptor has done a fantastic job on this piece. And I look forward to adding more of these models to the collection. So before I bring in his buddy Rocksteady as a little bit of a comparison, I will just finish the video by saying thank you so much for watching. If you got something out of this, then please consider liking, subscribing, adding a comment. It all helps, and I will see you very soon. Take care, everybody.